today and then, you know, add like an extra 15 minutes of that,
Yeah.
it can work.
Exactly. Just kill the Nexus, easy peasy. But I mean, on the real, it's all going to be about consistency from Cloud9, right? You know, we know that these players are capable of some pretty amazing things. At their best, we have seen them take down some really good teams. You know, they beat Mad Lions and RNG and DAMWON all at MSI, but they also lost to Pentanet. They can give you, you know, a really good first half of the game and also give you a terrible second half of the game as they did against FBX.
I feel like the scary thing with that though, right? You're talking about like they need to show consistency. DAMWON have been consistency in their first 2 games.
They're
the last
incredible,
last one did get a little bit funny, but their early games especially have just been so dominant against both FPX and Road, amassing incredible leagues with very different drafts coming out as well. So gonna be interesting to see what they do here, already taking away things like the Aurelia and the Nami.
Yeah, their top side has been really incredible. The bot lane, when we saw them up earlier, right, when they got tested quite a bit, it was shades of MSI, where the bot lane was the liability. The bot lane is why they didn't come away with that title in the midseason. It's why they dropped so many games even in group stage, is that became something risky. They nearly dropped in semis, right? Mad Lions almost took them down. The bot lane was the reason. So you can see the Nami banned away. Zven and Vulcan have been not shy to play the Lucian Nami, to play for lane dominance, so that is probably the avenue in for Cloud9 if it happens. Of course, DWG KIA still, I would say, heavily favored, hovering for the first pick, Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate coming out. I'm actually really curious to see what C9 want to go into it. Things like the Rise are still open, so obviously Perkz didn't have the best of games on that yesterday, but still as a champion that matches well into it, you're able to, you know, get that prio later on and always match him on these side plays. And C9, really aggressive bot lane, Azale.
Yep. Pretty much the highest priority support as well as AD remaining in the draft right now. Vulcan can roam. You can also set up very well for the MF ulti with that engage. And yes, I mean, Perkz did have a bad second half of the game yesterday. Obviously, I was pretty frustrated about that. A lot of fans were frustrated about that. I'm sure he was as well.
He was.
But he also did put himself in an incredible position, right? He had an amazing early game on the champion. And you can't be shying away from a champion that you are very proficient at just because you had a bad game. So I do think that the Rise makes sense as an answer. Silas is banned out, and that's one of his other common answers. So I think we'll see probably that, or potentially a LeBlanc if he wants to go aggressive. But with a lot of these defensive TF builds, it feels very difficult for the LeBlanc to actually create an edge. And some people are not thinking it's that great of a matchup anymore. So Rise makes more sense.
I feel like especially when you think about the fact that Canyon can play absolutely anything in the jungle. He's the one player I look at him like, okay, DAMWON have been leaving their jungle pick for later on because he even still has the confidence to pull out a lot of the assassin junglers that a lot of other people have fallen off the hype of.
Now, I'm expecting this to be Khan playing the Graves top. And what I would actually really like to see from Fudge is a tank. Play something like the Malphite or the Shen. Stack some armor up early. I do think that you can actually answer these types of champions fairly well. Mundo, I also actually think is actually pretty proficient at just farming it out in the top lane against the Graves, and is actually not that vulnerable to TF roams because your passive immune's the gold card. Some of these tanks I think have been pretty underplayed. You know, even when we're getting blind Jaces and things, we're not really seeing it. So I think it could be a good fit here from Cloud9. Would like to see something like that because Graves runs over so many of the common meta champions up there.
I think especially when the fact you look at the rest of DAMWON's comp as well, right? 2 other immobile champions. So you get some kind of tank or some kind of hard CC in, you could make both ShowMaker and Ghost's life extremely hard.
Yeah, Malphite, I think, just like fits what the comp is seeing. Poppy, another good example of a champion that would work. Ornn, etc. There are a lot here. And considering that if I'm Cloud9, right, if I'm Mythi or Rainover, and these people are, have been around forever, it's like, yeah, let's just go for a bot lane focused play. Like that's why they drafted MF Leon on 1-2. Like, this is the expectation. This is how I would target DWG KIA. Trundle not on the table. Hey, you know, they're learning what Team Liquid didn't. Trundle bans are good.
And with Trundle banned out, that actually leads me to believe even more so that they could be going for that tank top, because you're already looking at Jhin plus Graves and TF, right? That core is not really high damage at killing someone like the Malphite. I think Malphite would be an incredible pick here. I really would love to see it. The Trundle ban gives me some hope that we could get something along those lines.
I'm also really curious to see where they do go with jungle first. The Xin Zhao still being something that's left open, I think has been more standard, would set up for that mid-jungle, but no. We see Blaber wanting to go for the Qiyana. I mean, I guess you guys know better than anyone else. I can see Blaber extremely aggressive in the LCS, so wanting to get his hands on that one. Also, big ultimate that's really good against the immobile squishies that we talked about on the side of DAMWON.
Yeah, the scary thing is, though, then you're walking into the Xin, and you don't win that 1v1, so it's difficult to actually maintain pressure, plus the addition of the TF on the other side means that there's always the threat of that collapse happening if Canyon is getting aggressive, as he loves the counter jungle so often. And Graves is also deceptively tanky. So, you're looking at TF, you're thinking, okay, Zhonya's early armor could be coming through there. Graves is actually pretty tanky. Zin, you don't really win the 1v1. So yeah, there is the potential to make those big plays happen, but it's also so easy for it to go wrong, I feel like, for Kiana into this draft.
Yeah, and I think especially now with DAMWON wanting to round out with the Rel, right? I mean, the tankiness just getting
so
even
good.
worse. Yeah. and
like, actually insane with Zin, too. Like,
I feel like there's the setup as well, right? If you want to make Kiana's life easier of trying to land a really nice Supreme display of talent, hit a Malphite, lock everyone down, try and set up for the big combo.
MF, too, right? You can have the Supreme display of talent. You can have the MF ulti coming across. I'm getting so excited for this pick that probably is never going to happen. All right.
Yeah, so they have the Jax.
Now I'm sad.
Now, that said, Khan lobotomized Odoamne in Jax Graves.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that's how the matchup is supposed to go.
I'm just saying, I saw the matchup once, and it was the most one-sided top lane matchup I've seen all world.
And one thing I will say is that a lot of top laners do like Jax into TF because you can use the Counter-Strike to immune the gold card, right? So it is another one of those picks that can actually answer some of the side lane pressure. It will win out in the later levels, but early game you do expect to go towards the Graves. As long as you use your dash actually defensively, it's very hard to ever land the Counter-Strike as Jax. You leap strike towards him with your Counter-Strike up, he dashes away, drops smoke screen on his feet. These types of plays are pretty easy to actually pull away and avoid the Counter-Strike. Then you're kind of left with no ability to close the gap and getting ran down. That said, in the later stages of the game, once you have some CDR, once you have levels, yeah, Jax wins that 1v1. You have multiple leap strikes in a fight. These types of plays can happen, but it's also not really a strong team fighter, and that's why I think we've often seen Jax not really work out in the World's Championship so far.
And I feel like when we take all these factors into account, right, both drafts look more mid-jungle focused for me, especially on Cloud9 side, right? If you can get the Ryze setting up for the Kiana to start getting ahead and then have very easy assassination potential onto the likes of Twisted Fate and Jhin with the fact that Jax should be getting pushed in. And then for DAMWON, it's the same, right? Just hit level 6 on Twisted Fate, start making those plays up in jungle. I think DAMWON can be a bit more topside centric with having the Graves, being able to get those waves pushed in under turret, maybe be able to set up a dive. But either way, it's starting with mid laners.
Exactly, yeah. I think it all starts with mid, especially if DAMWON get ahead in mid jungle. I think it's going to be such an unfun game for Blaber. You're going to have Canyon and ShowMaker in your face the whole time. They take over the top quadrant of the jungle. They look to punish Fudge, who should be getting pushed in. So we'll see if Cloud9 can make it work here. It's feeling like it's not mathematically a must-win game, but let's be honest, it's starting to feel like a must-win game.
Sure.
We're in this incredibly difficult group here with DWG KIA, with FPX. Going down 0-3 is not giving you a lot of chances to get out.
Right. Anytime you're 0-3, you pretty much instantly lose control of your own destiny, but obviously, we've seen Fnatic back in, I want to say 2016. You can have a 0-4 start and make it if the stars align. And in general, no matter what's going on, you're always mathematically in there after the first round robin, because you can always reverse the results. I know I'm not correcting you on anything. I know you know how it works. But for anyone watching, I've seen people say, oh, are they dead at 0-3? No team is ever dead at 0-3. It's impossible to be dead at 0-3 until there's more games played. But yes, Cloud9 would love to find the first win for the LCS on the day.
Oh, no.
Oh, Blaber, he's face checking in at 2, gonna find himself quite a bit of damage with a dash and nowhere to go. First blood is claimed.
And now he's gonna lose his red buff. And now he's gonna be set so far behind. You're gonna be starting, like 20 seconds late, no leash, losing your red.
Even things like the ward EXP being given over to laners to be able to get those lanes ahead as well. I feel like a lot in that sequence just going really well for DWG. Gonna be quite hard for Fudge to play out the start of this laning phase as well, with Canyon up on the top side, just gonna have to concede his pressure. And I mean, when everything looks built for Blaber early on, the fact that he's the one that goes down feels even worse, in my opinion.
Oh, he's actually going to take his whole top quadrant potentially. At the very least, Raptors. He could go Raptors to red and then just defend his own red. But you see the multiple wards are actually placed there, on the map from the side of DWG KIA. They have these defensive wards to track if Blaber actually crosses over whatsoever. So, if he tries to invade to take away his enemy's red, they're just going to collapse on him because they have push in mid and in bot.
Yeah, and we're going to see that now, right? He's going to do exactly what we said to Zell. Canyon heading down towards his bottom quadrant. The jungle should be able to wrap up around. And sadly for Blaber, no real ways to answer. Both your mid and top are getting pushed in, so you can't really look to trade camps. And I mean, heck, depending on the situation as well, Canyon might even be able to set up for a double scuttle coming in. So for Blaber, might be rough. Might have to try and look to get into a lane early to try to find an avenue back in the game for Cloud9.
The tough part about that is your ganks become so predictable, right? Because you know that's the only option for the player when they have no camps to actually farm. There's nowhere else that they could really go, and he will be able to spot that ward and clear that out. But I mean, there's going to be like one Raptor waiting for him, and then his Krugs, and then he's going to have nothing to do, while Canyon will have, you know, this whole side of the map to actually farm up. And Blaber is moving in, but there's no way you win this fight. You don't win it even if you have the red and he has the blue, but unfortunately, Canyon is the one sitting on that red buff.
That looks like maybe you're gonna try and be cheeky.
He has Smite, and if he looks at the scoreboard, he knows Canyon is out of Smites. You can always, anytime you're 3 minutes in, you press tab, you look, if there's 3 charges, okay, no Smite's my opponent, right? I can win a Smite fight. And if it was a bad leash, if he plays it wrong, maybe you can look for the red steal. Either way, he gets the bottom scuttle out of it into a respec. Problem for him, of course, is he doesn't know his Raptors were only partially cleared, so that is money and XP he's not getting for a while.
Yeah, and look at how rough top lane is. And this is before Khan even based to spend his first blood money. So, you know, he already is going to be up and have nearly double the CS when he does base. And he's going to have the first blood gold to spend too. So he's going to be way ahead in this top lane, and Fudge is going to be in for a really not fun time.
Especially when the draft is already pretty telegraphed coming out from DWG, right? When you have the Graves up in this matchup topside, when you have also a winning mid-jungle matchup, engage!
It's a good stun though, and Zven's out of health! Ghost is burning, and I believe he will die! However, Jin got the kill, and Vulcan on Leona got it on the other side, so gold on the right place for DWG KIA.
Yeah, gold going exactly where they need it to. Does look like the wave is pushing into C9 though, so shouldn't feel all too bad for the side of Zven and Vulcan. And it really feels like this is the lane that you're gonna have to start looking at for C9 with what's happened in both top and jungle.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a really rough game, I think now. You know, Blaber's now in this spot where he clears out the Krugs, he goes, he sees his Raptors are gone. And now what do? You try to force a gank, right? You try to look for something happening. And this bot lane is somewhat vulnerable because they have to reset the wave. So that's why Vulcan never actually based. Sven is trying to pretend as though Vulcan isn't here. He does get spotted by the sweeper. Nice sweeper there from Beryl. But if they go up too far forward, Ghost has no flash. Here they go.
Stun, TP, they're bringing Blaber down as well. And they know Ghost is out of summoners. That should be enough to get the kill. And Zven is able to get the kill credit. Perkz shows up for an assist. A little bit of money shared across the rest of the team. Cloud9 up to 2-2.
A really nice read. It's really the only thing that they're able to do on the map. They had complete vision control at bot side. They kept Vulcan there, like Azale said, but we're seeing that counterplay.
Yeah, and Fudge is just so far behind. If you have to lose this wave, this is so brutal. You know, he has 20 CS here at 5.5 minutes. He's going to lose the first play. He just doesn't know where they are. You don't know if ShowMaker is already on his way there. You haven't seen Canyon in quite some time, so you could be getting 3-man dove. So he does the smart play. He backs off and plays it respectful, but he's down 1K 5 minutes in the top lane.
And obviously this game isn't necessarily representative of how this matchup should go, but after talking to a lot of the top laners in the LPL, a lot of teams feel like Graves is the best champion right now in the top lane because he's so diverse in terms of he's very safe to leave on his own island. You go the fleet footwork, you have the E to be able to get away, you have a lot of like tankiness built into your kit, but you're also a champion who can, you know, set up these aggressive plays and set up these dives on enemy top laners.
And honestly, even in some of the matchups that you don't actually win out in the 1v1, you have such good wave clear that you can just shove and move. So, you know, I do think that Graves is pretty powerful currently, especially if you're isolated in that 1v1, but they're looking to set up a potential dive here on Zven.
Yep, and here comes Twisted Fate as well. That's going to be an easy gold card. That's every other bit of crowd control. Landing a flash buys a bit of time. He's alive just for now. The follow, not going to find it either. And so the AD carry will live, but several waves are dying under the turret, not farmed for gold or XP. DWG KIA still ahead on the play.
At the very least, they got the flash out there, and now they're trying to get Khan here topside, but he is 6.
Got plenty of armor here as Blaber gets a bit of damage, stays invisible. Fudge wants to be in range, but no. Oh, gets the blast cone in time. Khan is safe.
And this is exactly the safety that we were just talking about with Graves. Able to, you know, push that advantage forward if he does have jungle around, able to get away with that E like we just saw. And going back to the bot side, right, they weren't able to get the kill, but still nice to be able to get the flash, more plate gold going over to Ghost, and more lost EXP for the side of Zven. But C9 looking for a counterplay in the mid lane. But nothing.
Nope.
Sadly, not able to find it. I like that C9 are continuing to try to find these opportunities forward to be able to set up plays on the map, but sadly, DWG not really giving them the angles.
So 500 gold was claimed from the first blood in the river at the very start of the game, but another 1,000 has been gained since then, and it's not kills. You can see it's on farm. Yeah, a tiny bit is a TF passive, but it is DWG KIA winning across the map. Canyon wants to battle Blaber for the red buff, and it looks like it's not going to be a real fight. Blaber going to claim that one even without his smite being up. Canyon doesn't want to face check into a bunch of Fog of War, though he would have been safe, as it turns out. No one was there to defend the man. A couple of wards are down to spot where Vulcan is. His bot lane's under a little bit of fire. Perkz now going to get hit up here. Canyon is there. Has flash if he needs it and doesn't have to burn it. Canyon not going to flash follow for the knockup. And decided they weren't going to have the damage to kill, so Perkz is safe but low on health.
It does allow C9's bot lane to play a little bit aggressive here. The first level 6 on the marksman does go to Zven, and they do have that threat of the all-in potentially if they can lock someone up. But DWG playing respectful, just sitting back here.
And we are seeing the cross map come out as well, right? We see it now on our screens. Canyon, ShowMaker going for the Rift Herald. You still have control of top wave with Khan once he makes his way back up in the lane when waves do crash. I assume you'd probably want to try and set that one up for Khan with how low he's already starting to get that turret naturally. And it looks like in response, Blaber going to go towards the bottom side jungle, get some more camps back for himself. Not really too far behind with how things have panned out, with how aggressive Canyon has been playing the map so far. And I think just a really nice sequence coming out from both teams to play around where they are strong.
A single plate taken in the bottom side, but already 2 for DWG KIA down there. Second plate taken in the top lane as well. So 4-1 on that score. And now he wants in onto Canyon as TF comes to arrive. Good damage. They might just burn down the Kiana, but hold on first. They're going to kill off Xin Zhao. 1v1, 1-4-1 as now Beryl wants to jump the wall, stunned up, but gets the space to go back to safety. Cloud9 only get that single kill as the teams trade junglers. The red buff may be claimed, but they're on a control ward, and looks like no one is there to defend it. Fudge going to solo farm out of the turret. Khan, no TP. Red will be claimed.
Not a bad play from Cloud9. They're going to be able to get the red buff. They do trade 1-for-1 on the kills. Perkz will be able to get back to mid lane to pick up that farm as well. And C9 will be able to shove in that bottom lane here. But a very early Immortal Shield Bow. And that pretty much eliminates any hope you might have been holding out of winning a 1v1 up there for a very long time. I mean, Fudge is just so far down that at this point, when you're on Tabby's and Ashin and they have the shield bow, you're looking at like 2-3 items before you would ever have a chance to really catch up and take a winning flight.
It's even disappointing because another nice aspect of that bot side fight that just happened is like, cool, you got ShowMaker to burn his destiny. Now maybe Fudge can get a bit of a break, but with how far behind he is in the 1v1, no break is ever coming. You can see him right now playing far back, closer to his inner turret. Looks like he is picking up Krugs right now, trying to get any farm he can, and DWG are making their way up towards the top side right now to try and punish him.
I mean, so much of it is just this line of vision. He doesn't see anything past that, right? He's got no wards whatsoever. So, you know, anytime they don't see people on the map, he's like, well, they could be here. I guess I just have to give up the wave again. And he's had to walk back between these tier 2s so many times. And you can see, you know, as the Jax, when you step forward in this melee matchup, you can just have the instant Q, bounce it off the wall for the instant explosion there, you know, punish that Jax every time he steps forward. So Fudge has to play it very slow, very defensive. And he's just bleeding out turret plates, bleeding out gold. It makes it very difficult.
And DWG looks like they're positioned to go mid. With the status of top wave right now, they realize, hey, we don't actually need to use this Herald up in top side. Graves will get that naturally. Let's break open mid where we've already started to get plates and break open the map to get more vision and to look for more picks.
It is going to be a fairly early Herald in the sense that, you know, they didn't get the first 2 or anything. It's not going to instantly knock down the turret. But yeah, as you mentioned, Khan is slowly working this one down. He's going to get almost the rest of the turret here. I'm not sure if Fudge can actually win at this point. No. He's going to dodge away the Q, but yeah, it makes Khan take a turret shot, but this turret is falling, and the waves are not giving gold or XP to Fudge. Now, a fight in the bottom jungle. Blaber stunned up, turns invisible, but that doesn't help you against Twisted Fate. Ult comes around to stun the opposing jungler, but Canyon's still there for the flash follow and gets that kill. Now the bullet time is going to find the opposing AD carry, but not enough for lethal damage, and he's still able to fire all the shots off. Ghost won't knock anyone down. Still the 1-0 fight for DWG KIA.
Yeah, nicely done. They take top tower there. Khan, once you have the sustain from the shield bow plus the fleet, you can start taking tower shots even. And Vulcan not going to quite connect there with Canyon, but Beryl was there, so they couldn't really go in anyway. And it just starts to allow you to really ramp up that pressure more and more on the Jax. And now he's just moving down here. They're going to look for the collapse onto Perkz.
He's going to be nearsighted and flashes before the gold card can land. Thought he was going to be in a lot of danger. 4th turret plate will be taken in the mid lane. A lot of gold earned. 5 top. I will say only technically 3 plates taken mid. One of them, he was out of range, so we can count that as a little bit less gold than it could have been. Obviously, bot lane is far 2 plates down there as well. Yeah, that gold lead could be 160 gold higher. Instead, it's not. So, you know, 5% of the gold difference is not to be realized. That said, still obviously pretty huge lead, 3,500 to DWG KIA.
I feel like when looking at C9's options now, right, you're always put in a bit of a precarious situation when you do have one side of the map losing so hard. And you do kind of feel this sense of like, well, we need to cover, it's just going to blow up. But when you opt into covering a side that is just bleeding out constantly, you're just also allowing the other aspects of the map for DWG to win. So I'd much prefer to see C9 just try to hover towards spot, walk around with Vulcan, maybe try to find kills in bot lane, and especially influence mid with Leona.
I can definitely see what you mean, but at the same time, if you never help the Jax, you're playing 4v5. Like, he's just never going to do anything the whole game, and that's my problem with the pick in the first place. Like, this was their last pick on red side to have this horribly losing matchup that you can't even play around, that also can't team fight. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. And yes, Blaber did get put behind, and maybe that has kind of thrown a wrench in their gears because, you know, he did get first blood at level 1, then lost his red. You know, so maybe they were thinking he was going to get up there. And now they are trying to make a 3-man play here, shut down Khan.
Should look pretty good. Flash stun's going to land absolutely everything. Blaber's in for the rest of it. Gets the shield bow, pops, and finally goes down. But Vulcan gets the kill credit. Perkz even burns his TP for, which means bot lane is now under fire as well. 15 seconds left on turret plates. It might be the 4th one claimed for the Jhin, though he is slow at that. And as the seconds tick down, Cloud9 get a little bit more gold in that top lane, but the difference still pretty big. 3,000 apart. Zven now finds he's in a 1 versus 3. Gets away from Canyon, and that means he won't be dove, but mid lane is under fire, mid lane will fall.
I feel like that exact play shows exactly what me and you were both talking about, Azale. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
You can put resources into the Jax, and it's like, cool, you got something, you got a kill on Khan, you got a tower, but you're giving so much up elsewhere. But at the same time, like you said, vice versa. Had you ignored him and gone bot, well, then you just don't have a top laner. So C9 trying to make do with what they can. I feel like at this point as Cloud9, like the real big shining hope is that we get either in front of like the next Dragon or Baron at some point and you find some massive combo with the Kiana to set everything up. But as a DK, I feel like you can just play the map wide, keep ShowMaker and Khan on opposite sides of the map, and never really opt into situations where C9 can find those big wombo combos.
Yeah, absolutely. You are somewhat relying on an error here from DWG, and it's not something that they really mess up very often. But fighting in corridors, extremely strong here, you know, for Cloud9 with the potential MF ulti, with the Kiana ulti, even the Spell Flux bouncing around there from the Rise. So if they can set up that type of situation, it could look good for Cloud9, but it's going to be difficult to find. And right now, it feels like the game plan is just try to make Fudge, you know, comfortable to farm, try to buy him time on this Jax, because you can eventually win in that 1v1 against Khan, but with the massive lead that he has, you know, that is so far away. Because Fudge is still looking for that first item, and you can see the Bloodthirster is almost built up here.
Divine Sunder, we take the small wins. Fudge finally gets the item. On the opposite end, though, DWG are taking themselves a Rift Herald. Nice job controlling top side of the map. And DWG pretty much a free reign with wherever they want to drop this one down. The fact that Dragon still isn't up for a few minutes, maybe you want to hold it, just ease yourself into taking that objective. But for DWG, everything just looked clean so far. It's not necessarily like any one big play's exploded beyond that level 1 play. That level 1 just really has affected so much and goes back to what we said about DWG. Their early games so far have been amazing.
Yes, and they are pretty good at closing it out from there. Generally speaking, they don't tend to throw. They just kind of roll you over. That's been what's happened for a lot of their time in the LCK. Not quite as clean a summer split as spring, but hey, still champions all the same with a pretty good run through playoffs. And the gold lead remains 4,000. It's grown very slightly since we last kept track. Next Dragon spawning in 215. They're still looking pretty good on this one. And I do think top lane is the place to put the Herald down. It's where Jax has already lost some turret damage before. But hold on, Vulcan's in for a play. Ulti's coming over the top, and Canyon is unable to ult to the very end. Gets the Gore Drinker, but it's not going to be enough. So now Ghost is going to find himself stunned, not able to get away from Fudge, and Cloud9 may look for those 2 kills. Fudge able to solo kill the bot laner.
That's huge for Cloud9. Nice proactive play there up on the top side. They find the window to get some kills. Yes, Khan can push in that mid lane, so they will give up a couple of minions, but they're getting Fudge involved. They're finding some proactive plays, and they're going to need a lot more of that if they want to claw their way back into this one.
I also feel like a bit surprising on the side of DWG, right? You had resets coming out, no one was in bot, no one was in mid. You really just have these guys push so far up in top side, and it gives C9 the breathing room to where they're allowed to do this, invest everything in top, because look at the minimap. Both Rel and Graves on opposite sides of the map. Sure, Graves does have the TP available, but you're so far behind in tempo, it sets up well to pick up that first kill, Fudge with a nice flank, and the Realm Warp just allowing Cloud9 to finish everything off.
And Graves isn't one of those champions that you can kind of just TP in anywhere. If you TP into the center of a fight, he's not that tanky. Good. So you got to be careful with that. And yeah, DWG, I think, getting a little bit ahead of themselves. And that's something, to be honest, we've seen a fair bit this Worlds. Teams getting into these massive leads, getting a little bit loose with how they're playing, and giving their opponents an opportunity to potentially claw back in, but they are still in full control.
I do feel like DWG have been one of the bigger offenders of that. Both DWG and RNG to me have been the ones where they're able to get these big leads, and it's not like they necessarily ever throw it away, but they do get a bit more loose with how they play out the map and give over some more opportunity.
They think they could.
Yeah, they make you think anything is possible, but DWG now all coming back on the map at the same time.
It, you know? Just giving you that hope so they can see it just drain away.
Azale, if you don't have hope, what do you have? I feel like DWG doing people a solid with their regional fan bases, but
you have me at the end of group stage. That's what you have.
Listen, right now, Cloud9 have a red buff. They've got a kill lead. What else could you want?
Nothing.
I think this is... how many teams? Really? Name how many teams have gotten more kills than DWG KIA in a game of League of Legends? Not that many.
Probably,
you know, 9 LCK teams and RNG.
Okay.
That's pretty much your list.
There you go.
Yeah.
We did it.
I'm just saying, you know, the 3K gold lead might be nice. This Dragon would probably be pretty good for the side of Cloud9. Maybe some more vision, like in enemy jungle.
Listen, I'm choosing to focus on the kill score as the important facts of this game.
That's true. It's all about KDA and League of Legends.
Right. Exactly. If you listen to the music, that's the whole point. You know, that's what we're trying to tell everyone from the very beginning.
Herald bot, let's see what they can do here. Pushing pretty aggressively, and this time, DWG does have 5 members down here.
Perkz stunned again, Perkz rooted in place, Perkz stunned a 3rd time, and now burns a stopwatch. Gets the flash away. They're gonna body block the rest of it. Gold card not gonna find the kill, and Perkz will limp out with his life. Of course, bot lane tier 2 still has fallen, and there is still more gold in the pockets of DWG KIA. No kill for Khan.
Still, I mean, DWG didn't really have to give anything for that play, right? They were dropping the Herald anyway, Perkz stepping too far forward. The gold card comes out from ShowMaker. And even now, Ghost with really nice setups with these Ws coming out, allowing to chain the gold card, allowing the damage to come through. And I feel like DWG just really nice setup with the CC. The second item, Rapid Fire Cannon, definitely helping out with ShowMaker, setting up a lot of these picks and burning key summoners on the side of C9.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing C9 got, I think, was a Spellbook Cleanse from ShowMaker. You know, forcing that out. But it is very difficult, you know, in that bot lane to actually find an effective Qiyana ultimate, especially when DWG has this strong front line. You know, Canyon, Beryl pushing forward, you know, really making Blaber's job difficult. If you can't find a different angle to actually approach and come on and find that initial engage onto Ghost or potentially ShowMaker, it's going to be so tough to make anything happen. And even ShowMaker now has his stopwatch, so that's going to be more difficult as well.
DWG doing a nice job of... Again, they know how much they can take pushing aggressively into the enemy jungle, especially when you look at C9's comp, and it kind of indexes into multiple areas, right? You have like the teamfight Wombo set up there. You also were set up to have a better 1-3-1 coming out with both your Ryze and Jax. But I feel like one problem when you do have a comp that indexes into a lot of areas as well is it doesn't just give you like one... hey, we just do this to get back into the game. Even if you do find that team fight, it'd be pretty nice, but you'll still be behind in terms of your soul laners. Graves will still be able to do pretty well.
And I've got to say, very few people have looked comfortable on the Assassin junglers. As much as we heard about them and talked about them coming into Worlds, you know, Owner had an incredible game, but that was against DFM where it felt pretty lopsided anyway. Besides that, you know, most of the players who have been bringing them out have looked significantly less comfortable, haven't been able to find kind of the same success as when they're on some of the more traditional picks that they played throughout Summer Split.
I feel like the only person I've seen who looked like truly comfortable was Canyon, which kind of makes sense, right? Played a bit of mid this split as well, actually pulled out the Qiyana when he was there. But you're right, outside of these few junglers, feels like no one really opting in to take them. I feel like champions like Xin Zhao, the Lee Sin, bringing so much reliability, but both teams right now posturing in front of Baron.
Yeah, as they step up, it reminds me, okay, going for the Realm Warp, going for top side. Canyons on the top, they're going to be stunned up. Here comes TF, though, it's a 4v3 for now. Bullet time, not bad, then a ShowMaker forcing him out. Now they got to try to finish off the kill, but it's not happening. Stun comes through for Beryl and Vulcan. He is going to fall. Next up is going to be Fudge. Yes, pushed right down, and now it's going to be the third kill. Looking for the fourth. Zven is on his way out, dodges all the shots. But a great answer. DWG KIA stop the push. They stop the kills. They get some of their own, and the turret falls down as well.
Cloud9 saw those members split. They wanted to try to get up to that top side and create a 4v2, but Canyon is way too hard to knock down. Drops the immediate ultimate, has the Gore Drinker there. DAMWON survive on the top side. The reinforcements come through. They wipe Cloud9. They'll take the Baron, and with it, full control of this game.
Yeah, and I feel like another pivotal factor in that fight was Beryl, right? Sure, Canyon battle all the time, but he comes in, he finds the nice engage to lock everyone down. Baron coming out, and now DAMWON have so many options with how they can play the map. They can play 3 lanes, they can play 2, but we're gonna go into the Axe Effect replay and see, again, you can understand what Cloud9 are going for. They're trying to find an opening anywhere. The ultimate and Gore Drinker come out. Zven's ultimate, sadly, not really able to lock anyone down, get that damage out. We see the Rel come back in. You are able to get the instant stun, and then once the Jhin ultimate comes through, forcing more summoners and just allowing DAMWON to have this dominant fight.
Cloud9 just not able to focus anyone down. I mean, I do think it was actually a decent look based on their situation in the game. They are very far down. And yes, ShowMaker will be able to respond very quickly, but that still creates a 4v3 type situation with a TP coming in from Fudge. You know, Beryl and Ghost were pretty far away from the initial start of the play, but they couldn't get the kill. And now we're going to see Vulcan falling down here on the bottom lane. DAMWON pushing up through this bot lane. You can see Ghost escorting the wave, and they're going to look to crack their first inhibitor.
Yeah, knows he's dead. You saw the emotes. He didn't keep walking when the route ended, but it wasn't going to matter. Obviously, he was always going to die there. Waiting on the 20-second respawn is now DWG KIA looking to get a little bit more done. Rapid fire cannon shot onto the turret, and now comes the actual siege. Inhibitor itself probably going to fall. Yeah, they're playing quite aggressively, posturing up and leaving the dragon up. That's not the important part. Xin Zhao is heading back to it now, but they're going to guarantee the inhibitor first, and DAMWON still playing forward. I don't believe they can ever knock down a Nexus turret here, so it is just going to be the minion wave. But the Xin Zhao of Canyon is on the dragon. They'll claim the third one. Easily on pace for a 30-minute Ocean Soul. That's going to be in plenty of time as they keep it going with the Red Bull Baron power play.
Yeah, you know, Freak, I'm kind of disappointed you two that went out in the end to break the third wall. I was really excited to say Red Bull Baron power play, but I still threw it in there. DAMWON is going to be able to do a lot with it. They break open the bottom side of the map. Resets are going to be able to come out. I feel like now you can just go back to playing 2 lanes on the top side, have ShowMaker in mid, have the rest of the squad up top. Could be vice versa if you want to keep Khan there, but it feels like DAMWON can pretty much just do anything they want. You're going to ignore bot now that you have that inhibitor. Get topside vision. Cloud9 can't walk out. You're just waiting for the next siege to come through.
Exactly. I mean, you're 8,000 ahead. You're sitting on Soul Point there for Ocean Soul. You have vision control. You actually look at the mini-map, and where's the furthest ward there for Cloud9? I guess it's just about here. You know, like your line is not very good at this point as far as that offensive vision. Cloud9 are just
they're still looking for it, though.
Maintain something.
Looking for these brush plays. Sadly, they didn't commit. I mean, realistically, they can't, right? DAMWON are walking in together. They have pushing waves.
As soon as TF ult comes up, they see you there. Yeah. The jig is up.
But still, these types of Hail Marys are the plays you need to be looking for, but DAMWON know what they're doing. Khan making his way down, the siege coming through in mid, and just very methodical coming out from DK.
A little bit of a root on the Canyon, not going to matter too much though. Heals back up, indeed even gets it when attacking wards. Okay, wards survives. Vulcan gets to retain a little bit of vision. You know, the little things are what you got to appreciate here when you're down 8,000 gold against defending world champions. You kept the ward alive, all right? We can still see a little portion of our own jungle. That is one of the fattest dubs.
Take those.
Yeah, that Cloud9 have had in this game, realistically. They'll take what they can get because they're not getting a whole lot into this one.
No, I think they're getting the defeat screen is what they're getting. We're just waiting for DAMWON to put the finishing touches on this one. They don't want to take any risks, and rightfully so. You know, looking to move 3-0 in this group, really guarantee themselves safe passage forward, so they want to grab as many wins as possible.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're just going to play towards Ocean Soul. They have strong soul inners. They have the ability to play the map. They're farming the opponent's jungle, getting more really off the map right now, and it's going to be up to Cloud9 to try to force their way out, to try to get some semblance of vision around that dragon area so that they could hope to find a miracle comeback.
Yeah, and when you're in a position like this, the Cloud9 is right. DAMWON are going to play out multiple lanes. Looks like, again, they're just opting into a 2-lane setup rather than a 3. Your only option is pretty much say, hey, we're going to give up somewhere, allow C9 to push out, let's say, top or mid, and you're going to all-in 5-man on the other core and just hope with numbers advantage you can burst someone out fast enough to be able to take the rest of the fight and be like, cool, we bought more breathing room, we can try and wait out to next Dragon or Baron, but I mean, DAMWON aren't really over-aggressing in any area. You can see it's a bit of like a push and pull in top and mid right now with how they're walking forward. So I really like the way they're playing it. And again, the fact that they're previous world champions, but still being like this calm, still being so dominant in the LCK and playoffs, but giving the respect that's due, I think is quite impressive.
All right, pay attention to the item spikes because Cloud9 just got 2 of them done. Sterix Gage now done on both their frontliners. Yes, they're done 8,000 gold, but as far as those champions are concerned, you know, Khan's only up 1 full item on Fudge, only 2 levels. Junglers are actually pretty equivalent, all things considered. As we kind of go down the list, yeah, in general, it is DWG KIA ahead. And Baron is going to be up in just 1 minute. 45 seconds later is that Dragon Soul. So there is going to be kind of singular focus for a bit with just the 1 objective up. You can see the gold differences right here. Yeah, not too bad at the jungle, not too bad at support. Everywhere else, it gets a little bit worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, top lane is the big concern there. You know, well over 3,000 gold in the advantage for Khan. He is so ridiculously tanky with this build, and I haven't seen much as far as heal cut in the Cloud9 itemization. There is an Executioner's there, and that's about it.
Ooh, Destiny Gate.
Finds himself a root, a little bit of damage, wants to get the move speed, but now we got to fight in the bottom side. Stun's coming across Blaber, gets a Sterix popped, trying to kill off Beryl, and he has a stopwatch, so he's not going to go down. Locket now pop Vulcan, about to die, wants to get away from Jin, sidesteps it, stays alive for now, but Ghost finds the shot in the end, and knocks down Cloud9 support. 1-0, DWG KIA again.
I feel like Ghost has been so on point with the skill shots this game. He's rooted a ton of people, he's been hitting those key ultimate shots and helping DAMWON, you know, succeed with this victory. For DAMWON, it hasn't really been any one member individually to push all of this forward. Sure, kind of a great early game based off what happened level 1, but it's really just been a well-oiled machine with everything working in tandem. They're going to secure themselves this Baron, which also should help set up for the Ocean Soul.
Yep, Blaber is heading down towards that Dragon. Cloud9 going to throw 1 Hail Mary for it, but DAMWON have time to just run straight there if they want. TP is available for Khan, so he can go back to base, but they're going to contest this. There's no reason for them to give it up. They're so strong at this point. They just have to delay a little bit here for Ghost, but Cloud9 knows it's desperation time. Look for the Hail Mary, see if he can make something happen. I don't hate the play, because if you just give it up, the game's done.
Absolutely. So they're going to try their very hardest, but the reveal has come through. ShowMaker sees all, and in fact goes for the flank play, finds a stun on a Perkz as they're follow through. Yes, Khan is in. Stopwatch burn, Vulcan nearly dead. Second half of the fight now begins as the front line is Beryl being pushed backwards. Decent damage coming across, a stun onto the Graves. Beryl will go down, 1-0, but big damage still coming across. Stun onto Zven. Good cleanse. Fudge has a shield and jumps back to safety. Still waiting on the rest of that fight as we're waiting for the ultis to come back. Kill comes in, 1-0 so far. Zven about to fall for the second. DWG KIA have too much gold, and they are just beating down the opposing squad. Fudge will not find the stun. He will immune a card, but he will still die in the end, rooted in place and killed indeed. ShowMaker gets some clarity, gets some mana, but Cloud9 have lost 3 for 1.
DWG gonna grab this soul here, and then the push is on. They have everything they need. Baron, Ocean Soul here, Cloud9 trying to make something happen. Only one they could take down, though, is Beryl. And the item completions are going to be coming through here a lot for DWG. You can see the GA now completed as well for Khan. He's already on 4 full items.
And they're just going to keep up the push. I like that the CP comes out. They realize they can look for the end. Still 20 seconds on Fudge. So they are going to have a man advantage while looking for this. And in the end, looks like they are going to meet up with their bot wave. I was going to be a bit surprised if DAMWON did back off right now. But with the rest of the cavalry falling in line, they have all their ultimates available. They can take another fight.
A short momentary numbers lead, though, as Cannon and Beryl will still walking up from the mid lane, but not enough to matter here. Yes, indeed, bottom inhibitor will fall. Baron buff still on for a full minute. Means that Cloud9 have to wait a while to find a battle they would like. Maybe with the turrets in the way, but no, they're gonna find that first flash stun, but Khan just jumps over the wall, and nothing is claimed for 3 big summoner spells. A flash and 2 ult. This makes it all too easy for DWG KIA to get the rest of the base.
Yeah, ShowMaker ulted up to that top wave. They already had that prepped as well, so it's an easy triple inhib. The minions flooding in here, and DWG are marching on the Nexus.
Here we go. The final 2 turrets to kill, and the Nexus itself. It'll be a 32-minute win for DWG KIA on the way to a 3-0 start to the group stage, taking down all of their opponents so far and waiting for the second week's games. Quick route onto Perkz. Stun gonna come across, but not a whole lot though. Vulcan just gonna drop here. Stun won't be found by Beryl. Now he gets in a 1 as Blaber's gonna get low, and he's going to fall. Ghost is dominating 7, 3, and 4. A huge factor in these games. Khan is just too tanky. Ocean still helping here as well, as Canyon and Fudge find themselves in a battle, but this Jax just cannot get it done. It was picked last. It did not succeed. The KDA's padded a little bit more, and DWG KIA 3-0 in the group stage.
Really dominant first 3 days coming out from DAMWON. It's looked clean, it's looked cool, it's looked collected. Their early games have been on points. Their meta read looks tremendous, opening the group with the Yuumi pick, the Graves coming out here today. And I just don't really know where to spot a weakness with DAMWON, other than when, again, sometimes they get it too ahead of themselves, but they have like a 10K gold lead in that moment. So.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked by far the best team in the group thus far.
Yeah. Dominated
FBX. FBX, I think, has looked much more vulnerable than DWG, who has been cruising, who looks like the easy favorite to top this group. We will see it finish out next group. Anything could happen, but CLOUD9 on the other side, starting 0-3, you already knew it was slim chances to get it